Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra Darkoa Ofori, and welcome to the first episode of the Singles Experience, where we discuss singlehood in details. Today, I have with me right here Mrs. Ruth Flynn-Makwembo. I know I mostly said we were going to have a lot of single people to come, but I think it's very interesting to find out from somebody who is married and see the beginning and the journey to how she found her Boaz. So, Mrs. Ruth Flynn-Makwembo, thank you very much for being here, and it's really a privilege to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to be asking her a few questions. Those that were able to attend the program, which was the singles experience, you would have known how our question and answers for the speakers really work. But those that were not able to, that is still okay and fine. So, Mrs. Ruth Flynn-Makwembo, these questions I'm going to ask you is things that most single people would really like to know, and from the viewers we have, I think it's so much of interest to them on how people really knew this, where this particular person was their Boaz's or Esther, and that was really our theme we've been using, and that's what we're really going to use. So you're married, right?
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been married for?
11 years.
11 years. Wow, 11 years. Thank you. So, my question is, when was the first time you met your husband?
I first met him when we were in high school and we were about 16.
16.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we were about 16 and we were both in high school.
Okay.
So we were friends for some time. I was at a girls' school. He was at a boys' school, I think, at the time.
Okay.
Yes, so they used to come to our school like maybe once per term. So I would see him like maybe 3 times in a year. And then when we were about to finish high school, like a month before, 2 months before, he wrote to me asking me out. And let's just say I didn't say yes, and neither did I say no. I responded back to him. By then, we used to write letters. It wasn't like now where you have phones and stuff. Yeah, so when I responded to him, I just said, "Hi, how are you? How's life?" And then we finished high school. I was doing life, he was doing life in a different city.
Beautiful. So, the first time you really met your husband was right at the age of 16.
Yes.
And I just want to ask how long did it take for you to meet him again? Like, what was the age gap, the year gap to meeting him again to now being his wife from that age of 16?
10 years.
10 years after.
Yeah.
10 years after it takes her to meet her Boaz again to now marry. So this is quite interesting because I know a lot of people that tend to see somebody today and by virtue of some things they realize, okay, it's not going to really work, and they end up splitting and they never get back together. And here's somebody who right 10 years later, she's back with literally her Boaz from the first one. So can you summarize the in between the 10 years? Was it like he met you waiting for him, or did you go do life? Like, can you just give?
So I guess the 10-year gap was there because I moved to a different country. I moved to the UK and he was in Zambia. And yeah, so I just pretty much just did life. Yeah, so a lot happened in the 10 years. I went through a lot of relationship problems. And it was in that time I couldn't help but think about him. And for some reason, to me, I just felt like the thought kept coming back to me that he would have treated me better.
He would have treated. So if Then my follow-up question would be, is it the time you met him at the age of 16, was he then the first male to have asked you out? Could that have been a trigger for you to feel maybe he can't be the person to really treat me well? What could have motivated you to think that way?
Well, I know what did. So, in high school, he was a Christian. He was a born again Christian. So every time we hung out, we would be like singing gospel songs, and yeah, so I knew that this guy is going to be in full-time ministry. At the time, I hadn't given my life to God, like fully surrendered.
So you
I
wanted
was
to
on the
play
fence.
cards.
So I really didn't, when I didn't say yes or no to him back then, I was just scared of being a pastor's wife.
Pastor's wife. And how is that going for you now?
Well, so when I ran, we'll answer that question later. Yeah, so when I came here, I actually came, every time he would write to me, he would send me pictures. So when I moved here, I brought one of his pictures and it was in my photo album. So I guess because I knew there was such a call of God on my life and I kept running away from it, but because of what I went through that time, the 10-year period of being separated from him, I found God. I totally surrendered my life. There was no hiding.
Okay.
Yeah, so I totally surrendered my life to God, and I guess it was in that moment now God showing me that, yeah, I gave you someone that you ran away from, and they would have treated. I guess it was just the Spirit of God discerning that He would have treated me better.
He would have treated you better. I think my last question is gonna be on the fact of you married him after 10 years. And you've been married now for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
From all those experience of about 21 years, literally 21 years, would you say that relationship is very, very different from marriage? Dating somebody, how different is relationship from actual marriage? If you're supposed to give a sentence to summarize the difference, what would that be?
I guess marriage, it's more commitment. That would be the summary of everything. It's commitment. Like I said before, I ran away, literally. I remember before we met again when I went to Zambia. I remember saying to God that I feel like an Israelite. May I never go through that again. May I never run. May I never say no again and run. It took me 7 years just to come right back to the beginning.
To the beginning.
Yes.
That is a very interesting conversation right here with Mrs. Ruth Flynn-Makwembo. She said quite a number of things to the fact that she moved to the United Kingdom and left her Boaz right in Zambia. It will be interesting to have her here one time again to ask her how does it feel to be in a long distance relationship or even move over to a new country where nobody knows something. It will be quite interesting to have you back here on this singles experience. But thank you so much for making time. And she's spoken that in a nutshell, the huge difference between relationship and marriage is commitment. In relationship, you can run. If somebody's annoying you, you can always say there's plenty of fishes in the pond. But when you finally commit to somebody, you need to carry everything all and bear what's your favorite word? And bear the cross. That
My
person
cross.
is your cross.
Not anybody else's.
No.
When it's your cross, you can bear it.
You can bear it. So thank you so much to everybody who is so much interested in this single experience. Please subscribe and really like and share so you can be abreast with so many episodes on the singles experience that will be bringing here to you. Once again, my name is Sandra Darkoa Ofori, and thank you once again for watching. Bye bye.
Ciao.